Slither Sisters, Chapter 10. At lunchtime, Miss Lavinia invited Robert, Glenn, and Karina to her office in the back of the library, where they met with the shades drawn and the doors locked. "My brother learns I'm helping you, he'll rip my head off, and that's not what your language arts teacher calls a hyperbole or an exaggeration." They had gathered to make campaign posters. Miss Lavinia had prepared a large work table and supplies, different colors of paper, magic markers, glue sticks, scissors. We're going to start by identifying your message, the thing that makes you different from the other candidates. Sarah Price is pretty and popular. Howard Mergler is smart with big ideas. Robert Arthur needs to give students a third choice. She leaned over a poster with the marker, scrawled a single word, and then held it up for them to read. Strength. I don't get it. "This is your message," Miss Lavinia exclaimed. "You're strong." Glenn laughed. "Have you seen his biceps? They're like chicken wings. My grandmother has more meat on her bones." Robert cringed at the jokes, but knew they were true. Yesterday's incident by the swimming pool was only the most recent demonstration of his weakness. In gym class, whenever Coach Glandis led the students through their daily dozen push-ups, Robert could never keep pace. He was always far behind the other boys. "Glenn's right. I don't think I should brag about my muscles." "You're confusing muscles with strength," Miss Lavinia said. "They're two different things. Muscle is animal tissue that contracts to produce force or motion. Strength is a character trait. It's resolution, determination, making difficult choices." Robert had already stopped listening. Nothing Miss Lavinia could say could change the fact that he weighed 90 pounds and he still needed help opening jars of spaghetti sauce. In the world of seventh graders, this made him a grade A weakling. Together, they formed an assembly line. Miss Lavinia began each poster by writing a slogan in a large block letter. Karina offered colored suggestions, and Robert and Glenn inked the letters with different shades of magic marker. Each time a poster was finished, Pip and Squeak would emerge from a tray of glitter glue and walk its perimeter, framing it with sparkles. The work was slow and tedious, and just after 10 posters, Glenn complained that his fingers were cramping. "If you're thinking you're cramping now, try spending the rest of your life in a 1-gallon jar," Miss Lavinia said, slapping another piece of paper in front of him. "Keep coloring." They worked through lunch, and after school, Robert and Karina returned to make more. Each poster offered a different message about Robert's extraordinary strength. "Robert Arthur fights for you. Robert Arthur will not back down. Robert Arthur will not give up." Robert felt like the posters were describing someone other than himself, a fictional super Robert who was bigger and braver than his real-life counterpart. At the end of the afternoon, Robert and Karina walked to the nearest exit. Since there were no other students around, he allowed Pip and Squeak to walk freely behind them. The rats loved an opportunity to get out the backpack. So what do you have at night?" "So what do you do at night?" asked Karina, "after everyone leaves?" "Well, I spend a lot of time hiding from janitors," she said. "Once they leave, I can listen to music in the band room, or I'll read in the library. The nurse's office has a nice cot for lying down." It sounded awfully lonely to Robert. He didn't say anything, but Karina spoke as if she read his mind. "The nights aren't bad, but the weekends are terrible. Saturdays and Sundays drag on forever." "Maybe you can come to my house sometime," she suggested. "I wish I could. It doesn't work that way." She didn't elaborate, and Robert didn't press for details. He knew she was confined to the grounds of Lovecraft Middle School, but didn't understand why. Whenever he asked Karina about her life as a ghost, she always changed the subject as if she was preferred to be seen as a living, breathing, flesh and blood girl. "Let me ask you something," Karina said. "What are you wearing tomorrow?" "I don't know," Robert said. "Clothes?" "You can't just wear anything. You're running for office now. You need to dress like a leader." "Like a suit?" "Wear your red shirt with the little squares, and tuck it in, okay?" "Aye, aye, Captain," Robert saluted her. She scowled and swatted her arms. Her fingers passed right through him, raising goosebumps on his flesh, and he fought the urge to shiver. "You can win this thing," she said. "I know you don't think so, but I do. I believe in you." An awkward moment passed by. Robert had recently decided that ghost kids were different from regular kids. Karina talked more than any human friend he'd ever had. She offered advice on what clothes he should wear, and often she surprised him by saying the nicest things, like, "I believe in you." The kids at his old school would never say things like, "I believe in you." Sometimes Robert didn't know how to answer her. "Well, good night," he finally said. "Watch out for janitors." "You too." "Me too." "Good night to you, too," Karina said, flustered, already retreating into the shadowy hallways of the school. "I'll see you tomorrow." And that is the end of chapter 10.